Hello, everyone. Swimpros News 31. Yul is traveling right now. Can't make it. But anyway, we're in full preparation for the camps. All the flights and like everything is done. It is awesome. Some families have decided to come last minute, which I guess is also cool. But we're definitely doors are closed and protein, the carbs are shipped. The t-shirts, the caps, the other gear, everything is on its way to Tenerife, which should get there soon, ideally before we get there. So it's going to be amazing. Just a couple updates for camps next year. We have confirmation from the center in Tenerife that the athletes only hotel is going to be finished by October. And we're going to be one of the first groups who, from basically after summer onwards, we will be in that athletes only hotel. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, so basically what's been happening over the years is that Tenerife, especially the area where we are, is a very trendy place and it's gotten very expensive. And so the performance center is kind of expensive because it's beautiful, but then also the hotels have become very expensive because they're so full, right? And so they decided to build their own athletes only hotel right next to the pool, literally right next to the pool, next to the performance center. And they showed it to us when we were there over New Year's, and obviously it wasn't finished, but they gave us a good tour. We had to wear these like helmets that you wear on construction site, right? Look pretty badass, pretty funny. And they gave us a tour, and that athletes only hotel has everything that we could possibly ask for. It has, the most important is probably going to be athletes only food, which is huge because there's not going to be any freaking fried, pommes How do you call that? Fried potatoes. How do you call that? French fries, right? So athletes only food, huge upgrade. Then they have a conference room. Obviously, it's air conditioned. It has its own chill out pool. It has a hot, cold kind of showers to recover. It has its own recovery gym. It has freaking study rooms, right? So if somebody has to study, it has new mattresses, just everything top notch, super modern. And from October, that's where we're going to be with the elite, right? Which should make this, very, very, very exciting. Because you know how it is. If we train hard, we have to recover hard, and then little training and all that. So a lot of fun, and that's happening from October. Also, we're going to have in 2027, I guess. We've had so many requests. I mean, all the summer camps are fully booked, and we haven't even like pushed it that much because a lot of the swimmers who've already been to camp, they're coming back, which is awesome, right? But for 2027, we're going to have more camps. We're going to have 3 summer camps. We're going to have 3 junior camps because it aligns really well with the school holidays. And then ideally, as always, we'd like, the summer camps, right, is what we promise. And that's what we're doing this year also. A lot of you guys are having nationals right now. Go and rock it, right? We're rooting for you. We're checking results. We're waiting on Skool to get the update from you guys. We're sitting on hot coals. How's it going to go? And, if it goes well, great, right? Kudos to you. Congrats. If it doesn't go well, it's not the end of the world, right? Those disappointments, they are going to happen. Is something we talked about last week, even the week before. And something that we make a priority on camp is that disappointments are always going to happen. They've already happened, and they're going to happen again. And so it's not about not having them, because the more ambitious you are, the more disappointments you're going to have naturally. And so it's not about not having them. It's about knowing what to do and how to deal with these situations when they do happen, because they're part of the human journey. I mean, they're definitely part of the competitive swimming journey, but they're also part of being a human being. I mean, heck, even us adults, right? We're disappointed all the time, but you learn how to handle it, because it breaks my heart when I see a 12 or 13-year-old or even younger, and they're like crying after they miss their PB by 0.2 seconds or something. It breaks my heart, because it's not supposed to be that way, right? So big part of what we're going to talk about on camp as well. But how did we get there? Okay, so conference room, right? It has everything. We can do mental training, just everything on a higher level. So we're super excited about that. For juniors, I guess that doesn't affect the juniors because the juniors are always going to stay with the parents. But for the elite, it's going to be a massive upgrade. Massive. For camp, what we're doing, and obviously we'll communicate that in private and all that, but in the school group, not this Sunday, but Sunday next week. I know a lot of you are competing and all that. It's okay. We try to make it as late as possible. If you can come, great. If not, it's not the end of the world either. But basically, we'll do a get to know each other, just saying hi, because when like it's an adventure for the kids, right? And they're going to a new place. There's new coaches. There's like a lot of other swimmers that they've never met in their lives, and so some like social anxiety, I guess it's like normal. But then if we have a call earlier, we can put some faces and some names together. It makes it a bit easier, I guess. And then anyway, once we meet, we say hi in the hotel, and then we have a short orientation, and then right, we walk up to the pool, and we're gonna have our first session. There's gonna be a team challenge. Not gonna say more, but it's gonna be a good workout. But as soon as they're all in the water and there's they're in a great space, coaches are motivated, they are motivated, and we share this passion for competitive swimming. All these barriers, they just fall away. It's like super easy. And then you all of a sudden, next thing you know, they become best friends and start to support each other. And it's really cool. So, that's just to help with, for us, it's also good to see some faces, but then for the kids, just to see, hey, they're just like me. So we'll do that, not this Sunday, but July 26th. And hey, that's really all I have, because we haven't been doing much new stuff. So with the no nag method, it seems to be working really well, reducing screen time. It's something that I think I have to set up and like hammer down a little more in the new season again for those that want to join, because it's kind of not ideal doing it when everybody's on summer break or off school. But still, what I see is, so far in the screenshots, it's amazing, because screen time is going down, even though they have a lot more time, most of them, right? It's going down. And then particularly if they pick an app, including myself, I've picked TikTok, right? And signed my agreement with my wife and stuff. The app that we choose to reduce the most, where we're like, okay, this is the one that wastes the most of my time or the most of my potential. Because really, that's what a lot of this stuff is, right? The gaming, the TikTok, the Instagram. It's, some stuff might be good and give you an inspiration or whatever, but most of the stuff, it's kind of wasting potential, and we could be doing something better with the time. And so what I see when we pick an app specifically, that seems to be definitely going down, which is awesome. And for most, screen time overall came down, which is great, because some of the screenshots that were showing like 5-6 hours a day. And when you think about that, 5-6 hours a day, and you multiply into the future, like what that means over a month, the numbers are freaking scary, right? And that's why on the flip side, we always say, in training, we want to do everything we can to be 1% better. Now, 1% better doesn't sound very sexy, but I promise you, it starts to stack up over the weeks, months, and even if you can extend the horizon to years, right? It will make it's a completely different swimmer, even after a couple of months. Even after a couple of weeks, it goes. So it's and it's really good for motivation if they can be 1% better, right? Of course, you can't always look at the time. You have to have these process goals and stuff. And that's, we're so excited to introduce everybody on camp to that. And then we're going to complete a transformation, right? So if you're coming to camp and you're listening or watching this, what I like you to start doing is start thinking about what you want to get out of camp, right? Start, and then have ideas, because we're going to ask you about what it is that you're thinking. And then, of course, we will watch you swim, and we'll have other ideas maybe, or maybe they're the same. But we want you to start thinking about what you want to get out of camp, why you're coming to camp, how are you leaving camp as a better, elevated swimmer, and human being. And what that means is, how can you be a better human being? Well, for example, right, if you're a complainer, stop complaining. Super simple. If you don't eat enough, eat properly on camp. If you go to bed really late, go to bed on time every day so you can get the most out of camp. If you are very quiet, then start motivating somebody else. Give somebody else a pat on the back. You know what I mean? There's so many ways to become a better human being on your terms. You choose. You step into a role of being a leader. I had that conversation with a guy who's coming to camp, and he's one of the older guys, right? He's pretty fast and all that. And I told him, hey, we need, hello, it's my dad. Dad, my dad is coming to camp too. Dad, say hi to the camera. My dad, he's gonna be there too. I got into swimming because of him. He was a pretty good swimmer, you know, back in the days. And so I said, I want you to see how we coach on camp, because I think you're gonna be proud of me and our team. Anyway, so he's coming. Where was I? Being a leader. So, and he was very flattered that I told him, hey, I'm going to need you to be a good team leader for the camp. And he's like, I'm paraphrasing, I'm not 100% sure how you wrote it, but he's like, oh yeah, I'm like flattered that you think that I'm a leader and stuff. And I said, you know, being a leader, it's not a role that somebody gives you. Being a leader is a way of living. Right? We don't have to wait until somebody with authority or somebody who's older and appoints us, hey, by the way, you're knighted to be a leader, right? It's not, you know what I mean? It's not like that. It's you choose to be a leader, and there's so many ways how you can be a good or a better leader. And again, if you don't know how to lead, you'll figure it out, but you have to set an intention, be like, hey, one of the best ways is support others. Supporting others is one of the easiest way to, first of all, get out of your own way, and then also make everybody else's lives a bit brighter, a bit better, right? And then the mission is already completed. And that's why when you think about racing again, so many of the swimmers, when they have an individual race, let's say in the morning, right, and they try to qualify for something, they blow it because there's so much pressure. And then the same day in the evening, they swim the same event in the relay, and then what happens? They crush it. Why? Because when you think about it, is there more pressure when you're racing on your own or when you're racing for a team? And maybe depending on where you swim, you also race for the parents, you race for the other children's parents, you race maybe for a whole freaking nation. So where's more pressure, in an individual race or in a relay race? It's in the relay race. So paradoxically, the swimmers should be slower in a relay race than an individual race because there's actually more pressure. But it's not like that, right? I mean, of course, some, but most people are going to be faster in the relay. And the question is why? Because it's counterintuitive if there's more pressure. And the reason is because it's not about ourselves. It's about the others. It's about the other swimmers. It's about maybe the team. Maybe it's about the nation, right? And so when we don't make it about ourselves, but we make it about other people, that's when we get out of our own way, and that pressure is like, oh, now it has to work out. No, I have to. Or what if it doesn't? It just magically goes away. But that stuff, making it about other people and getting out of our own way, needs to be practiced. And one of the best ways is to become a leader, which is to make it about other people. Okay? I mean, think about it. If we're selling the camps and the mental training, it's about the swimmer. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's not about Swimpros. It's about where the swimmer is at, and then how can we help? What do they want, and how can we help them make that transformation, right? And so, I'll close with this because that's the most important for camp. I hope you're looking forward to it, but please mentally start preparing. What do you want to get out of it? Why do you want to get out of it? How are you leaving as this different person? And then as bonus points, what could you do for other people? Right? Maybe you already have some tricks up your sleeve that that work, and maybe it's time to invent or try something new. Okay. Next week we'll have more updates from camp. I guess maybe we'll give you a bit of a sneak peek or whatever. And if there's any questions about logistical stuff on camp, then shoot Yule. Best is if you message Yule a message on Skool, or if you have his WhatsApp, you can also WhatsApp him, right? There'll be more communication going out with the Swimpros parent group. But yeah, and otherwise, if you're racing, go and get it. We're rooting for you. If you're already out of the water, enjoy the holidays. Try to stay a little bit in shape. Keep the feeling for the water, right? That when you arrive on camp, or that you at least the first couple of days before you come, that you're, a bit, the better, in better shape you come, the more you're going to get out of camp. And we're aware it's a beginning of the season camp, right? We're aware of that. But yeah, we talked about how we feel about being 3, 4, or 5 weeks out of the water completely in the last academy training. And it's not, you don't have to train hard, but technique you can do all day, every day, just like a little bit of like focused work. You can do that every day, right? A bit of sculling, just feel the water. You're going to get so much more out of camp. And then for next year, this is also cool because we have 3 summer camps. You'll be able to choose the summer camp that best aligns with the last week of your holiday or the last 10 days of your holiday, and then go straight back into training so that there's definitely no break. And then I think that will suit a lot of you. Okay. That's all from my side. Next week, hopefully, Yul will be back. We'll have more updates for camp, and I'm wishing you a wonderful summer. See you soon.